Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear students, I welcome all of you to the very first chemistry class after the summer vacation, after the Eid vacations. And I hope that all of you are desperately waiting for the online classes to start again. And we are waiting for the offline classes because it's almost more than an year has passed and we haven't seen our beloved school, isn't it? But what to do, my dear students? Pray, make dua that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring things to the normal state again, and we will be able to inshallah meet again, and things will become normal again inshallah. But the only substitute for the offline classes today is the online classes. So we have to study. We can't stop studying and learning, otherwise we will be destroyed. Okay, studying and learning is as important as eating and drinking for your survival, for your well-being, for your development. Okay, otherwise a person who is not having knowledge, or who does not seeks knowledge, who doesn't seek knowledge, is like animals. What is the difference between human beings and animals then, if you don't have the zeal to learn and study? Okay, that's why the only thing which makes us different from the animals is this knowledge, this ilm, and the knowledge which we implement in our lives, that makes us a better human being. Okay, so let us start a new chapter today, because before the vacation I completed chapter number 1. Okay, so today we will be starting the new chapter, that is chapter 3 instead of chapter 2. Okay, we will be starting chapter 3 because chapter 3 is very important and it's easy to understand than chapter 2. So today on Tuesday, 1st June 2021, we are going to start chapter number 3, elements, compounds and mixtures. Before we go to understand the definitions of these terms, which you will often face in the subject chemistry, elements, compounds and mixtures, and most of the times it is seen that the students, they have a confusion regarding the definitions, regarding the understanding of these terms. So these are the building blocks, the most fundamental concepts of the chapter, of the subject. Okay, so please be focused and concentrated and try to understand elements, compounds and mixtures along with examples. Okay, and inshallah I will try my level best to make it very easier for you. So before we go and understand the definitions of these terms, let us try to understand substances. Okay, substances. You know what matter is? You know what matter is? Matter, anything that occupies space and has mass is matter. Okay, anything that occupies space and has mass is matter. So this pen is occupying space, you can see, and it has mass definitely. If you put it on the electronic weighing machine, you will find some readings. Okay, that on the digital screen you will find some readings in grams. Okay, so it has mass, so it's matter. So anything that occupies space and has mass is matter. Now matters, they differ. Okay, you can see the difference between this sketch pen and this pen, this paper of the book which you have and this pen, the water you drink and the clothes which you wear, they are different. Okay, they are different. Why they are different? Because they are all matter, isn't it? They all are matters. But why are they different? Because of the substances they are made up of. They differ because they are made up of different kind of substances. So water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. This sketch pen is made up of different chemicals, organic chemicals. Okay. The cloth, the bed sheet, everything, the paper, they are made up of different kind of elements, compounds, substances. Okay, so collectively, elements compound mixtures can be given as a general name substances. So matters that differ because the presence of different substances. Hope you understood. So we will be dealing with different sort of substances. What these different substances are? These substances are broadly classified into elements, compounds, elements and compounds, elements and compounds. So to understand elements, what are elements? First try to look at the definition of elements. Plus try to look at the definition of elements. Elements are made up of different made up of are made up of different sorry not different are made up of same kinds of atoms. Okay, so elements are made up of same kind of atoms, and I hope that you know what atoms are. Okay, so they are made up of same kinds of atoms, same kinds of particles. If a substance, if a matter consists of only same kind of atoms, only one kind of atom, all the atoms which are inside that matter, inside that substance, inside that article is identical, then you can say, that article, then that object qualifies for as an element. Okay, for example, I'm giving you an example. Suppose this sketch pen, I don't have, because we have limited resources, you can understand. So assume that suppose this sketch pen is an iron rod. Okay, so I'm making an iron rod for you. Iron rod, and I have a glass of copper. Some of us have this utensil in our home, copper glass or copper plate. Okay, utensils made up of copper glass. So if you will inspect what is the substance by which this object is made up of, you will find that this rod does not contain anything apart from iron atoms. That is, it contains only iron atoms, nothing else. So this iron rod is made up of only iron atom. That is why iron is an element. Is an element. Okay, so what are elements? Elements are substances that are made up of only one kind of particles, only one kind of atoms, iron. Coming to the copper glass, if you will inspect and try to find out what is the substance by which this copper glass is made up of, then you will find that it is made up of only copper atoms, nothing else. It does not contain iron, it does not contain hydrogen, it does not contain anything else apart from copper atom. So this is an element as well. Copper is an element as well. So you understood what elements are. Elements are substances which are made up of only one kind of particles, or substances, objects which contain only one kind of particles, atoms, qualify as elements. Now let us try to understand compounds. let us try to understand compounds. Compounds. For understanding compounds, I have taken the same copper glass. Which uh, which I have drawn just now, and I have filled this copper glass with water. Okay, it contains water. And if you inspect what water is made up of, what are the particles of water, or what is the smallest particle of water, then you will find it is H2O. This is the smallest particle of water, that is molecule of water. So the molecule of water is H2O. So the molecular formula quite clearly says that it contains two different elements, hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen. So for sure this is not an element. For sure this is not an element. Why? Because what? I'm talking about water. Water for sure is not an element. Why? Because it contains different elements, different substances. And what is the definition of elements? Elements are substances, are objects that contains only one kind of particle. But here you have different kind of particles, isn't it? Hydrogen and oxygen. So that is an example of a compound. So what is a compound? Compounds are pure substances. Elements are also pure substances. They are also pure substances. Okay, so compounds are also pure substances, that contain different elements that contain different elements So compounds are pure substances that contain different elements, or are made up of different elements. What is a common example? You can have another examples as well. I am giving you one more example. All of us like lemonade, okay? Nimbu pani. In Hindi we say nimbu pani. And during the summers, this is one of my favorite drinks, nimbu pani. And if you mix ruabza, okay, if you mix ruabza to it, the tastes, I cannot express words for that, okay? So nimbu pani, lemon, contains an acid, and that is citric acid. That is citric acid. And acids, if you study in higher classes, you will come to know that acids are compounds. Why? Because they are made up of different kind of elements. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, they contain different elements. So that is why they are compounds. So all acids which you find are compounds.